Greetings. So it's been a while since I did any kind of tarot reading for y'all. I'm going to start with fire signs. Because, because fire signs are awesome like that. So I'm going to use the angelic messenger cards. We'll get a general kind of feel for what's going on, and then we will expand on that with a different deck. 38, encouragement. This is your encouragement, fire signs. Also, you could be encouraging someone else. Hopefully, it's a very reciprocal, healthy, kind of lovely relationship. Oh, release number 23 came out and one fell on the floor. Emergence number 21. And then we've got vulnerability and divine guidance. So this is okay, so let me just center myself. So this is giving me the vibe of you need to be encouraged that whatever it is energetically that you're releasing out into the world for fire signs in particular. And if you don't know what a fire sign is, then they are the Leo, Sagittarius, Aries group of people. This is a vulnerability to other people's input, which I think for fire signs can sometimes be kind of hard. Not because not because you guys are stubborn, which you are sometimes, but we can all be stubborn. This is more so like an open-mindedness. So encouraging yourself to release any kind of emergence of vulnerability when it comes to other people's judgment or your own, for that matter. So if you've been really harsh on yourself, if you've felt a lot of judgment flooding in from any direction of your life or any part of your life, it might be kind of time to let that go. What other people think about you is none of your business. It's one of my more favorite quotes in life. But being vulnerable to understanding or at least listening to other people's opinions or their perception of you is sometimes helpful in tempering yourself. And temperance, I don't mean like, you got a hot temper. Maybe you do, but maybe you don't. It's more just about challenging your mindset. That's the energy that I was kind of getting. It's about expansion of horizons and being able to not only look at things on a chronological kind of level, but also being able to say to yourself, if this wasn't chronology, so I'll just give an example. Let's say I wear this outfit, right? And someone's like, I think that outfit looks terrible on you. Or they say something that's kind of stabby, like just kind of little jab here and there. You should challenge yourself not to care. Okay. Or you should challenge yourself to take a look or listen to what it is that they're saying to you. I'm about to use this card deck. This is the Eye of Ra. And just kind of take it in, but you don't have to let it affect you. People mean so many. I'm not very good sometimes with articulating how I feel verbally because I don't know, a lot of people aren't. Notoriously, fire signs have this bad reputation of being really gung-ho about everything. When you guys take a stance, you take a stance. And that's not a bad thing at all, but just understand that some people might not get where you're coming from. Other people might get exactly where you're coming from. So that being said, don't take your vulnerability too far in judging yourself. Yeah. Take the knowledge without having to like inbox yourself mentally, if that makes sense. Like it's good to be, kind of feisty and like ready to fight, but also it's good to just have your own opinion. don't worry about what other people think about you. It's not any of your business. There's the evil eye coming right out, which is protection, actually, from other people's scrutiny, if you will. Yeah, this release of information may or may not be truthful. It doesn't have much to do. This is not a draw. I just saw this on the bottom of the deck right when I was looking at that release card. It doesn't mean that other people are correct about you, even if they're showing harsh criticism or they don't know you. There's a song by T.I. that might be helpful. It's called You Don't Know Me. Also, I'm hearing that song, You Don't Own Me. Whatever, I don't know how the rest of it goes. But those two songs might be helpful if you're feeling particularly bombarded with judgment or other types of information that you don't necessarily find key, but that you might find key to yourself. So this release is coming out with the key card. Whatever other people are saying has as much bearing on you as you would like it to have. If they're projecting, I want to specifically say that word, if they're projecting at you or trying to pass judgment in a way that doesn't feel good to you, simply click off. Like, don't worry about it. Yeah, there's the butterfly. So the other butterfly is the message card that we just saw that was in reverse. This is the other side of that. So being able to juxtapose those energies between yourself and the outer world is a really good idea. Not just because, it keeps you kind of sane and grounded, but also because this next card in the middle is emergence, number 21. And I'm just going to take a wild guess, but I feel like if someone has been evil eyeing your understanding of self or your stance, your position, the way that you've decided to be opinionated, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. So don't take it. So yeah, there's a fire sign. So this is your card, fire signs. And that's, you need to emerge with your own kind of upward facing mentality. Emerge with that. Do that first. And then whatever vulnerability of judgment that's about to come next won't have such a impact on you personally or on you communally, financially, emotionally, spiritually, blah, 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 right? Being able to discern for yourself what it is that you want to invest in terms of thinking, what you're thinking about, what you're doing, because that, fire signs are doers. They're doers. You guys get stuff done. It's not, there's a butterfly coming out again. So that's the vulnerability. The message is that you need to be vulnerable enough to listen to your own thoughts, but not so much to everyone else's opinion. And that's what I'm saying is this last judgment card is basically the judgment that you pass on yourself is really the only one that matters. Other people, other scenarios, other places and things, they may hold some weight in your world, but they don't have to. It's a mentality. This is the air sign card, and I'm just saying you could be dealing with an air sign either, or this judgment is a mental judgment. It's a mentality that you're thinking about. It's the gust of wind that, it's either a blustery day or this light bulb moment that happens for you personally. The challenge card was at the bottom of the deck, and there's also void here. See how you can just make a challenge null and void for yourself? Like just kind of understand that you got control of the space that you make and the space that you challenge yourself within. And those, I've always said this, but you can flip-flop the information how you need to. I'm going to get... I'm going to get some Goddess Oracle deck cards to go with this. And I'm actually going to do the spaces between, because I feel like that's what this void card is talking about. Challenge yourself to see the spaces between, or when something offends you, sit with yourself and see why it's offensive. See if your logic is actually making sense. And if it's not making sense, or if it's not, I want to say, panning out for you in the way that you'd like, either choose to keep it. At the beginning of a lot of tarot card readings, people will say, take what fits and leave the rest, or take it with a grain of salt. That's what I'm saying, is that I'll show you this, this is the evil eye being kind of, this is either jealousy or protection from jealousy, coming directly at you. And that's a key part of maybe what you're focused on at the moment, or will be this month. If you're able to emerge as yourself, rather than worrying about other people's judgments or other people's vulnerabilities to whatever message you're trying to send, or whatever you're trying to emote out into the world, then the judgment isn't going to seem so harsh. You'll be able to keep that space. Like, you know how they say keep people at an arm's length if you're not sure, or if you're not enjoying what's happening, or just if you're cautious. It's the same difference. This is what that's saying. So let's see the in-between spaces, please. Okay, Yamaya, awakening. So automatically this idea of encouraging protection for yourself, or other people being encouraged to hate on you. You can look at that a couple different ways. Like, you can say, I need to really beef up my protection for myself mentally, spiritually, in terms of judgment and temperance. That's literally the temperance kind of energy that was coming through. Or you can say, if you don't have any haters, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong, right? That's also legitimate. So these two dolphins behind her seem like, either beefing up her protection, like, I got your back, right? Or looking at this judgment and laughing and just being like, you know what? I'm not even gonna entertain your key points on me. I'm not gonna take your bullet points and make them into my life priority list. It's just not gonna happen. Shine came through. This is between the, hold on for a minute. This good juju is at the bottom of the deck right now. And I do just want to point out that there's that reflection. So again, these are the spaces between. So we're jumping into the reflection that you're either perceiving of yourself, or that the outside world is perceiving of you. And if we're going to look at these together, awakening your shine, or honoring who you are as a human, because this is the next transition, that's going to be the part that helps you remain steadfast in any kind of shine that you do have. Don't lose the keys to your own happiness, because that's going to be a pivotal thing in the future. Not so much in any specific way. You don't have to say, well, I'm doing really good here, or I'm really doing good there. You can say, I am actually able to look at myself in a negative and a positive light, right? It's kind of like, if you're a woman, kind of like taking a pregnancy test. You're either pregnant or you're not. That is something that's going to be important for yourself. And this is number 40 and number 32, by the way, if numbers mean anything to you. That's landing between the encouragement and release card, as well as the evil eye and the talisman. I'll show you when I get done, but discussion of the transitions is kind of important. And then the shine card is coming out between the release of emergence. So if you're showing up for yourself, other people are more likely to reflect back that same energy. I want to say this is showing you a token of yourself. Instead of being the token fire sign in the room, or the token whatever, you don't need to worry about what other people think, as long as you think highly of yourself. Let's see. Okay, Sacred Lust is coming out, number 26. So that's the fieriness of a fire sign. This can sometimes mean you're going to this. I don't think the Sacred Lust is necessarily sexual, although she is naked. She's very naked on this, and she's actually standing on the back of a lion. This has to do more with the vulnerability. So between emergence and vulnerability, that's being able to stand, not like etherically naked in front of other people, or spiritually or emotionally or whatever, being raw and uninhibited in your presentation of self. It just means you're not going to compromise. So that's number 26. And I think when you find yourself attractive, or when you find yourself, motivating, then you can motivate other people a lot easier. And also, it just doesn't, what other people think doesn't hold much, it doesn't affect your level up. So instead of leveling up on your judgment of self and vulnerability, as it were right here, you don't have to be vulnerable to people. You don't have to level up with people that are going to pass mental, physical, spiritual, whatever type of divine guidance or judgment in this specific case that you don't want to receive. You just let it go. Just let it go. So altogether, the transitions look like this. This is awakening the shine of being vulnerable, or sacred, your sacred ability. Use that without having to have an expectation of yourself that's unrealistic, or having a moment of self-sabotage. That's not the challenge is to make space, or to actually just say, you know what, that check seems null and void to me, so I'm not going to self-sabotage myself. Or challenging myself makes space for self-sabotage, for that matter. It depends on how you would like to interpret it. Self-sabotage is number 24. And this just has everything kind of that I was saying in the beginning packaged up in a nice little, reading for you. So typically I would stop the reading here, but I do want to add one more card. It's these are Izzy and Liv, Manifest Greatness and Radiate Positivity, 75 daily affirmations. So in the spirit of supporting yourself, in the spirit of, and I don't mean like in any way except for the ways that you want to, or in the spirit of, I guess, self-gratification and self-realization, understanding. What can we take away from challenging the universe to foster less self-sabotage and more fiery existence that will serve our highest and greatest good, please? Ooh, you could be experiencing some type of stardom. It says, I deserve to experience new adventures and opportunities. The only reason I'm also saying that is because an air sign, which is typically like the Aquarius, Libra, Aquarians are, the stars. Libra is kind of a really mental sign. They have got a lot of I don't know the word that's coming to mind is chutzpah. They've got a lot of mental force, if you know what I mean. They're an emotional force to be reckoned with. And obviously that's kind of like being midair, shining your light as brightly as you possibly can. So I'm going to say I deserve to experience new adventures and opportunities. That should be you. If you're too timid to experience new opportunities or adventures and whatever, that also doesn't leave much space. You see how this is just darkness, whereas this is allowing a child or someone with a more innocent or like a knee-jerk kind of reaction to add a piece of the puzzle for you. And that should light up your life in a way that is positive. It should never be negative. It should never be negative in the way that you feel you have to take the advice. This is just someone pointing something out. So if someone's pointing something out to you and you don't enjoy it, obviously leave it. Leave it alone. If you do want that encouragement, take it and stick it into your repertoire, okay? All right, I think that's it for fire signs.